Hey everyone, and welcome back to Columbia City. So, alright, we've got a lot going on here today, I mean, in terms of the progress we make, but it's mostly going to be the same thing over and over again. So, we're going to be placing a lot of buildings down today because we're going to try to fill in the area sort of south of downtown, if you can imagine what south of downtown in Seattle is. And it's going to be a little bit tedious, but we're going to place basically all of the buildings that need to be placed. We're not going to detail too much. That's sort of just going to be the nature of the episode. I want to get this done because I want to start detailing this area and the areas around it. We really do need to do a actual downtown episode where we go in the downtown and fill it in, because you have other buildings around skyscrapers. It's not always just skyscrapers, and right now that's really all we've got. So alright, so I'm popping in here about a month after I recorded the rest of this audio. So, I mean, this video went up for patrons about a month ago, but it's finally going up publicly now, and I want to just update everybody on some things just to stay current. So, I have been taking a lot of units this summer, 14 units, 14 semester units, which is double full-time and some more. Like, it's a lot of units. So I haven't had any time to work on videos this summer. Like, any time I have had, I just wanted to do absolutely nothing because my mental energy was all used up. But I mean, yeah, I just want to get back on track. I'm really, really sorry for the inconsistent uploads this summer. It's just, I didn't want to completely burn out from, you know, working on videos on top of having a ridiculous, work-life balance in the first place. So in any spare time I had, I just honestly, like, I just watched YouTube videos or on finance or something. Like, I couldn't really deal with, you know, deadlines further than I already had. So, yeah, I'm sorry that we had inconsistent uploads for the past little while. But I'm going to try to get them you know, back on track. I have a very, very low workload in terms of actual, you know, classes this fall. I have otherwise, like, extracurriculars, pretty high workload. We'll see how it all balances out. I want to get back to weekly uploads, though. That's always the goal. And yeah, so definitely apologize for, you know, the inconsistency recently. It's not something I wanted. I just didn't want to burn out. And this whole ridiculous amount of units in 8 weeks thing, it's only gonna happen once. That's it. And now I'm done, and it's over. So we're gonna be able to get back on track, hopefully. So. Finally brought some DJ Quads music back, so hopefully you guys are enjoying that. I'm sort of cycling through different types of music. I'm trying to build a folder filled with Epidemic Sounds music that's really good for cinematics. That's definitely not the genre of the music that you're listening to throughout the rest of the video. Definitely a lot, like, louder and more energetic. But it's gonna be, like, you know, really solid songs. So the cinematics at the end of this video are, like, top tier. Like, I haven't done anything better in, like, a long time. Anyway, okay, let's hop into, I mean, since what we're doing on screen here is going to be pretty repetitive, I'd like to jump into some viewer-created builds. So, I mean, we've been doing this for a little while now, probably a couple months, and the more I've been doing it, the more submissions I've gotten. So if you don't know, I mean, if you want to send in a build you're working on, you could just send it over in an Imgur album on any sort of social media platform. So, like, you know, DM me on Twitter or Instagram or Steam or Discord or anything, and I'll throw it in a Google Keep file and save it for a video and showcase it, because I want to see what you guys are building, and I think you like to see what each other are building, because, I mean, I think people have been enjoying this segment, and it's a really good way to showcase your work. And I'll give whatever good criticism I can. So today, this project is going to be a Vancouver-based project we're starting off with by somebody named Andrew, who submitted this awesome Vancouver project. This is really cool. I'm loving the use of the modern apartments. I mean, we haven't really had a full Vancouver project submitted yet, and I haven't really seen a full Vancouver project anywhere. I haven't even seen anything like this on Reddit ever, and as far as I know, at least. And I mean, this is really awesome. I'm happy somebody thought of doing this. I know we featured a city called Van Adel, which was a Vancouver, Seattle mishmash, basically. But this is full Vancouver. So we're getting that whole glass skyscraper vibe. We're getting some really awesome buildings here. One criticism I did give Andrew is to remove the pyramid, the Transamerica Pyramid, because it's just too iconic to San Francisco to include here. I know it looks absolutely perfect here, but the problem is you think San Francisco when you think of it, and it's just a little bit too iconic to the city. And by that token, I should probably remove the Space Needle from Columbia City and probably add in an asset that's a little bit more unique, I guess, and something that's not as identifiable. Because a lot of the time, buildings, there's this invisible line that it's really hard to identify, where once you cross it, a building's too iconic to place it in your own custom city. And I think the Transamerica Pyramid probably passes that line, just like, the Empire State Building would probably pass that line, etc. What else? Maybe Sears Tower would probably pass that line. But there's sort of a line where once the line is crossed, the building is just too iconic to place into your own sort of imaginary city, Skylines city, even if it's inspired by some place. I don't know, if you get what I mean. I might be the only one who thinks this way. You can definitely give your opinion in the comments. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a line where some buildings are just too iconic to place in your city, even if they exist in the workshop and they're amazing buildings. But I don't know where that line is. What do you guys think? So I mean, definitely tell me in the comments, because I gotta figure out whether to remove the Space Needle from Columbia City, and if I remove it, I have to find a good replacement. So I mean, if you guys want to debate that as well in the comments, definitely do so, because I need some suggestions on that front. Area where I'm just placing a bunch of murals sort of on these buildings, and we're placing a little parking lot in here. We've got a retaining wall. One thing I'm doing, since we've got a lot of grade changes, pretty hilly city we're building here, is I'm placing a lot of retaining walls with pavement above them, just for the back areas of certain buildings, so I don't just cover the back areas with trees, because that's not that realistic for a downtown. You gotta have some sort of alleyway or something like that. And what I'm doing here, I like it, placing basically a retaining wall, some pavement, pretty basic stuff. I've been using a bunch of these Avania fences that came out relatively recently. The gray ones, the networks, they're really short, but they're really perfect for something like this. They look great, to be honest. My favorite part, once again, though, is I mean, it's gotta be the murals. They're just really nice around here. And I also like this building that's got sort of the vines going down in the back. It's pretty cool. And I mean, I want more murals, though. I don't have enough murals to place, so if you've got some mural suggestions that you'd like to send over. Send me some workshop assets wherever you'd like to send me them, and I'll check them out. And if I'm not subscribed, I will subscribe, because I want more murals in Columbia City, because they just add so much flavor to a city and they look really, really cool. So send them over. Alright, so I guess it's time to feature another city here. Let's go over and check out a Phoenix-inspired project by I Am Pie. So I Am Pie has given us a beautiful city here. I really loved this project the moment I saw it. I have been waiting to see a full-on Phoenix-inspired city for a while, and this really does the trick here. I mean, you've got the crazy wide avenues, because like Murica and the Southwest, because it's a newer area, so you're gonna have a lot of ridiculous car infrastructure, because somehow we have devolved in our way of thinking about transportation methods from thinking public transportation good to public transportation bad, and now we're finally starting to think public transportation good again a little bit. Okay, I've gone on another rant. This is awesome. I love this project. So, okay, these farms here are just beautiful for the Southwest. I love the highway construction, this interchange here. That is absolutely spectacular. I really do want to do some sort of infrastructure construction as we move on in Columbia City. I think that'd be pretty cool. I love the suburbs here, how sparse they are, because there are a lot of suburbs in Phoenix outside of the city that are sort of sparse like this. This construction site's just awesome. Next to this Marriott, I love it. Downtown looks like a southwestern American city. This looks like a Phoenix or Albuquerque. It looks really awesome, actually. I love this freeway over here, this sort of elevated freeway. The way this is integrated, I think, is just absolutely awesome. I'm pretty sure this is the Arrowhead Junction map, and I mean, it's a really awesome use of the map. And just ending here on this shot of the grid of the city, I mean, which sort of exemplifies what Phoenix should look like. Yeah, this is awesome. I really love this project. I mean, I don't really have anything to criticize here, except get the Vanilla Trees Remover mod, please, because I saw Vanilla Trees in there, which just don't belong there ever. Vanilla Trees don't belong in any project, period. I'm sorry. Maybe unpopular among some people, but just get the mod. It's not that bad. Or use Prop It Up to replace the trees instead, which I'm doing in Columbia City with the trees that already existed on the map. But yeah, another thing to note, a lot of you have been complaining about how dark Columbia City looks, and a lot of people say it's fine. I personally find it inconsistent, depending on what kind of screen I'm viewing it on. I mean, it's by its nature a pretty dark LUT that I'm using here, and I mean, it's going to be different on different displays, rather, and I mean, okay, so I decided to slightly up the brightness. You'll see it in the final cinematics and at the in the end of the video when I go live and show you what we've worked on in the episode. The whole time lapse was recorded with the old lighting settings though, so once you get to that part of the video, tell me if you notice a difference and if you think it's good or if you need more brightness increase, etc. I'm definitely open to continuing to change it more, but I want it to work on the most displays possible. I mean, it's a pretty dark looking city by its nature. It's just very cloudy all the time, and people have been wanting me to get some cinematics in the rain. Definitely expect that soon. I keep forgetting, but it is Seattle, so we've gotta make sure we get those rainy cinematics. I don't know how I haven't done that already, but we will, don't worry. Okay, so right now we're detailing this area here. It's like we got a high-end apartment complex. We placed this building twice, but it's a really cool building and it's pretty generic, so should be fine. I really just like the detail on it a lot, and I'm adding a bunch of the Mr. Mason trees here, which I've been placing a lot of in downtown. They work really well. I really like how they stand out with this LUT, because this LUT really makes the live oak trees just really gray, as you might have been able to tell, but certain trees can pop with it, and those are really nice. Alright, so we're working on the back wall here of this, I guess, apartment complex. I'm placing a bunch of graffiti, and I'm doing another one of those areas where I've placed retaining walls and then ploppable pavement, and that's how I'm dealing with the steep hills here. I don't really see a better alternative. I think it looks pretty good, actually. I mean, it adds a lot of depth to the city, and the texture of these retaining walls is pretty cool, but it does get a little bit weird from afar because they go full white, which is definitely not the actual texture of them, but it should be fine largely. I do basic detailing here, really not too much. I place, you know, trees and stuff. We're going to go in here in another episode and actually detail all of this, don't worry. It's not going to be extreme detailing because, once again, this project is supposed to be a pretty big city, and I really want to focus on the functionality of the city, the macro picture rather than the micro picture, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're gonna detail a little bit here. This is a pretty cool building that we've got placed down here. I believe I include some close-up cinematics of this building at the end of the video. I really like how it looks. I'm trying to deal with these slopes. They're really annoying, and when you're only placing one building on a block, you gotta be creative. So I placed a retaining wall and then those other you know, pavement networks, and then some stairs. It's a complete mess, but you got to work with these slopes, and we're not going to be down you know, on the ground anyway. I just want to place buildings, some basic things like trees, and maybe some you know, tables outside of restaurants every once in a while or something. I don't know. Here we're working on something that I think is going to be pretty iconic to the city. It's this monorail area that goes sort of over this park. And I want this to be iconic to the city because, I mean, it's a shot that I think is just going to look really cool once we've got everything detailed around here. We've got this really stupid monorail line that goes from downtown to the Space Needle, like Seattle. And it's going to go over this park, right over this park, and right over this patio on this building, this corporate office of whatever sort. And I think it's pretty cool. Tell me how you like this here. I think it's a nice touch. And once we get everything around here detailed, I can't wait to get cinematics of this spot because it's pretty unique. I like it a lot. Okay, there's some more, you know, stuff after this, but I decided to cut it out because we've been repetitively placing buildings for a long time. I think it's time that we go in game and I show you what we've worked on in the episode and some basic plans for the future. And we are in game. It's sunny in Columbia City somehow. I don't know how that happens. It's the Pacific Northwest, but nonetheless, we are here. I just want to show you some of the stuff we did this episode and then go over what I've got planned. I mean, I don't have all that much planned, but we could talk about it. Okay, so this episode, we did all this here. Almost all of this is undetailed. A lot of it is whack, like this is whack. I gotta I'm probably gonna remove this building. I don't really like it anyway. Texturing's a little bit like, it doesn't work with the other buildings I've got. Let's just say that. This tower right here is probably gonna go because it's sort of a smaller replica of our main skyscraper, so I don't really know if it's a good idea to keep that there. Sorry. Anyway. So what else do we have? I mean, we placed a lot of buildings. And what's undetailed is probably going to be, this is going to be some sort of like maybe we'll place a fountain and then some outdoor market here. I know you guys want me to build Pike's Place. That's gonna happen. Don't worry. And I don't know where we're gonna build it. Maybe like over here. That could possibly work. But we're gonna do it. We haven't really messed around with anything over here this episode. Mostly we just worked over here. I mean, okay, so our main avenue trees, I don't know if you could tell, are going to be the newer trees by Mr. Mason. I forget which ones these are, but these look really, really good. The colors really stand out with this LUT. And, I mean, look at that. That looks like a city. We haven't even detailed anything yet. I mean, that's awesome. And see, that tower doesn't look right there. Because, I mean, as we go this way, we're going to have, like, a little bit of gentrification, but, like, large, like, you know, like this. But largely, I want to have some older buildings over here. And, I mean, that tower's a little bit weird, and then that tower doesn't seem to fit right. But probably keep this one over here. I've got a lot of buildings with spires. I don't know if you could tell. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this bus and tram terminal that I've got over here. Let's look at the transit lines quickly. I know this is a long episode, but I want to take a look at the transit lines and see what we're going to do with those. Because we've taken a look at them before, but I want to do that again. So there's this line that's going to go up here, and then over here it's going to go sort of under this other line. And then there's this other line you see right here. It's going to go out this way. So we're going to have a line that goes out that way, and then one that goes out like sort of this way. But the one that goes out this way is going to come through downtown and then go through this, which is going to be sort of a nice neighborhood, like a hilly neighborhood with a bunch of nice houses. It's going to cross a bridge, which I plan on building a really, really cool, iconic bridge right here. I don't know what that'll look like, but we'll see. And then this is sort of like a different, like, county over here. So we'll have sort of different, you know, urban planning styles here. I mean, maybe this is where we build the sister city. I don't know, because remember, we are going to build a sister city. People have been telling me, build, you know, Bellevue or Tacoma. It's going to be either one of those we're going to base it off of. I'm leaning towards Tacoma right now, simply because I think adding a skyline that's the size of Bellevue's would probably be a really bad idea, but maybe that could work. I don't know. I think Tacoma is older, and it looks really, really cool. So, God, this cube map is way too saturated. It just looks totally out of place for this city. Let's go to like an overcast cube map here. That should look a little bit better, more realistic at least. Sorry for the cough. 3 weeks in the making this cold. Okay. So what else do we do? We did this over here. I mean, we detailed a little bit, not too much. I detailed in little spots, like this park over here. We got a lot of cool stuff going on here. I know it may seem like we didn't get a lot done, but it takes a long time to place these buildings, and we placed a lot of buildings here, so I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know what we're going to do next episode, but we've got a transit system to work on. We've got roads to expand. We've got a waterfront to make. I mean, that's going to be a big thing. That's going to take a lot of episodes to work on the waterfront. We've got a downtown to detail. We've got ethnic districts to make. I want to make a really cool Chinatown. I just went to San Francisco, and the Chinatown in San Francisco is just like spectacular. I want to make a completely rent-controlled Chinatown here. I think that could be pretty cool. All right, end of the video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like if you did. You know the deal. Subscribe if you are new around here. Hit the bell icon if you have nothing better to do with your time. Support me on Patreon. Just $1 a month will get you early access to new videos. You could get the access to the next video right now if you want. Follow me on Twitter for rants and useless stuff, and follow me on Instagram for virtual photography. That's about it. Hopefully you all enjoy these bomb-ass cinematics, and I will see you next time.